Leading people is a skill, and it's not a skill that they teach you in art school or in film school. Also, leadership is a really funny thing, particularly when working with creatives. So in this video, I'm gonna lay out just 10 things that I have found in my experience. They're my opinions, 10 things I think could help if you wanted to start or become a leader in a creative agency or business. I will say this, leadership's a really funny thing, man. Like I have mentors that have hundreds and hundreds of staff. They talk on stage, have $1 billion evaluation, millions of followers on social media, and they still tell me when they're talking to people, they think, why the fuck are people listening to me? Right? With all this stack of evidence that they're one of the best leaders in the world, they still think that way. So my intention is, by sharing this stuff with you, is that if you are a creative and you are looking to build that business up, don't let your lack of desire or skill or confidence in teaching people or to lead people stop you from growing something. Because like anything, these are skills. Leading people is a skill, and it's not a skill that they teach you in art school or in film school or any of these traditional ways where you've learned your craft, you've learned how to be good at what you do. We don't learn those other bits and pieces. So the thing is, you have to go out there and study them specifically and implement them to a team and learn and adapt. So within my agency, I fluctuate between 60 to 100 people through the years. But I started with one person. I learned and I grew from there. I'll preface this for creatives. If you are a single person that just wants to be a gun for hire, that wants to be a freelancer, probably not the video for you. However, I think you might be able to imagine yourself down the track having someone to just take care of accounting, take care of your sales and bookings, and free you up to spend the time doing what you love to do, which is just creating, right? But if you do want to build a bigger business, if you do want to build a creative agency, then this could help you. Okay, so here are 10 things that I wish I knew earlier about leadership in business. And if you implement them, maybe you could see some results too. So number one is core values. Know your core values, hire by your core values, and fire by your core values. This is something that I learned and have let right into, but I make all my hiring decisions based on character. Yes, there is a level of competency and skill that you have to have in your craft. However, if I had to make a choice between someone who came in and that had awesome character, an average skill set, versus someone that might have an amazing skill set, but a little bit average of character, I'm choosing the person with the character first, right? Artistic and technical skills can be trained. Most of the time, people are who they are. Number two, over-communicate everything. The amount of time that I haven't done this is astronomical, right? This is one of the ones that I had to learn from failure, and that is to over-communicate what you want from something and from somebody. Never assume that someone knows what you're talking about or they can read your mind. Common sense isn't that common, or at least it doesn't mean the same thing to everybody, right? So you have to lay out exactly what it is that you want, how you want it done, when you want it done by, what happens during the process, what's the procedure, if something goes wrong, what are the contingencies, the what ifs, the what, like everything. Over communicate. You know, it depends on what area you're in, but you know, you might have heard the thing that 1 hour in pre-production equals 1 day in post-production. This is that idea that if you just spend the extra time before the project, it's going to save a lot of time afterwards at the end. So get everybody on the same page and communicate your expectations. I think as a side note to this too, it's a good idea to learn the language of the people that you're talking to. I have a lot of video editors in my team. I know fuck all about video editing and I can't edit to save my life. But I know many years ago, I signed myself up to a video editing course. No single intention to edit a frame, but I wanted to go there and learn the language and learn some of the functions so that when I had to express the ideas that I wanted, I was able to communicate in a way that they would understand and would connect with them more. Okay, number 3 is to trust people. At the end of the day, you're in control of how you act to your team. You can't really control anybody else. It's a long story, but I had a team member that went behind my back and fucked me and fucked the rest of the team. And that really affected me at the start. I was quite emotional about it. It was a real break of trust. I found myself then looking around the other team going, who's gonna screw me over next? Being really suspicious of everybody. And it was a horrible mindset to be in. Like the vibrationally was terrible. So I came to a fork in the road and I went, hey, I can mistrust everybody, or I can just trust. And I think that if you treat people well, you have the right intention in your heart to look after them, and you give them trust, that's all you can do. What happens after that is up to them, right? You can't control the actions after that. I always tell my staff, I always think of it myself, control the actions that you can control. I trust first. If someone then goes and breaks that trust, or they show some low character value, I know who they are then, and I can react to that, and there's consequences to that. I read somewhere that, if someone shows you who they are, trust them. If they are low character, that's who they are, get rid of them, right? And as a last little point on that section, I think that you can't expect people to trust you if you don't trust them. So trust them, and then they may get it back to you. You can't expect your team to have or receive something that you don't embody yourself. So trust is one of those things. Okay, number 4, you have to be an influencer of energy. The whole energy of the team comes from you. It trickles down. It affects the culture. It affects the work. If you come in flat and blur, then that team's going to be flat and blur. If you come in up, you can literally raise the energy and the vibration of your whole team as a leader. Super important. For example, when stuff is down, when work is down and work's a little bit quiet, maybe there's a little bit of uncertainty, you need to be more up, more positive, help them see that, okay, now we have time to create new things, to experiment, to work on those procedures and things that we said we never had time for, and to give them hope for the future. It's going to pick up, it's going to move, right? Conversely, if it's crazy and there's like chaos and everyone's too busy, everyone's stressed out, it's just shit burning and falling apart, you need to come in with calmness, with reassurance, to say, hey, everything's going to be all right. We've done this before. We'll come out the other side. And that de-escalates everything. People can feel that, and they feel secure and safe that you have things under control. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so number 5 is accountability and ownership. We need to hold everybody accountable. We need to set boundaries. There needs to be consequences. There's a few parts to this. I don't want to go too deep on them, but if a team member does something that's worthy of praise, it's best to praise them publicly. If they do something that needs correcting, it's best to correct them privately, that I found. And as yourself as a leader, particularly to clients and the team, if something good happens, if we get a result, if we get good praise or client feedback, then put that ownership on the team. Wow, yeah, the team did an amazing job. It's a result of all their hard work. Single people out. This person did amazing at this person did amazing at that. It was the team that was responsible for that good result. Conversely, if you get complaints, if you get things that don't work out, bad shit that happens, and that's your fault, right? Apologize. I'm sorry. I'm going to go fix this. You take it on board yourself. Sweet, which brings me to my next point. Extreme ownership is number 6. Now, there is a book by an ex-Navy SEAL, Jocko, called Extreme Ownership. And this concept is basically that everything that happens in your business and team is your fault. And the concept is really, really powerful. So the way I've integrated this concept is that everything is my fault. Anything that happens that went wrong in the business is a result of me probably not doing any of that stuff that I've just mentioned. So I haven't communicated my expectations. I haven't trained somebody up. I haven't set expectations on my time. Maybe I haven't fired somebody. Maybe I haven't given somebody enough resources or the skills, or checked in, or been aware that somebody needed help. All that stuff is on me. And so what that accountability does is that then empowers me to make changes and to learn from any sort of mistakes, which means, yeah, okay, I still hold the people accountable. If someone's fucked up or they've done something, I still call them out on it. I still hold them accountable for things. But ultimately, it's probably, if we work up the chain, my fault in some way, unbeknownst to me, but something that I can improve on next time and be aware of, which I have. Because yeah, there's a lot of people in life that are victims and they like blaming the world for their problems and where they're at. But the truth is that you're capable of everything. You're capable of anything and everything. And where you are in life, you deserve to be there, whether through action, past action, or inaction. I know I am, I know the things that have happened in my life are because I've done something. The good things are all because I've taken action and made a decision. The stuff that's in my future, or things that I haven't got, is because I took inaction. I didn't do anything. I didn't work hard enough or make the decision at the time to produce a result. That's on me. So I think that there's immense power in that. It's an incredible mindset shift. Number 7 is that it's lonely at the start until you find other leaders, right? So make that a priority. We're way too connected now for you not to do this. Find some other people that are at the same level as you or 1 or 2 steps further along, and make friends, make connections. You'll find that you'll probably still be lonely in perpetuity, but at least you'll have people that understand what you're going through at the time, and you could all be lonely together. And just have the realization that nobody else in your company is going to give a shit about the company as much as you are, ever, without overthinking the reasons why. It's not their baby, it's yours. That's going to be part of the loneliness. Cool. So number 8, the money number, is to know your numbers, right? Like, you need to know the financial side of your business. I've heard this for a long time. I kind of don't. I mean, I know my numbers. I know the basics of the stuff, but I fucking hate spreadsheets. I hate the planning and forecasting side of things. It is part of the business, but I don't make decisions based off the financial side of my numbers. I never have. I've had business coaches come in and have tried to be like, you need to sit down for an hour a day and put your face in the spreadsheet. And I can totally see the value in it, but I've never done it. It feels like I'm hitting my head against a brick wall. Saying that, full disclosure, I haven't been able to grow the business past like $3 million a year revenue, right? We kind of sit around 2 to 2.8, and that's been consistent from that 8 to 10 year period. And I feel like, yeah, maybe if I paid attention more to that stuff, if I was head deep in the financials, if I made decisions based on that, we would probably keep going and pushing past that mark, but I haven't. So I can't teach people how to run a $3 million a year creative business because I haven't done that shit. So I'm not going to tell anybody else how to do it. But I've done the 2 to 2.8 mil. A lot of it is what I've been talking about here, but it's not due to me sticking my head in a spreadsheet. It's not even me having other people that look after that side of things too, because I take a lot of that responsibility. So the reason I say this is that I want you to know that if you're using your lack of financial education or your hatred of spreadsheets or any of that stuff as an excuse not to get started, don't. Like, it's just an excuse. Learn the basics, learn how to monitor what's coming in versus what's going out, and be across it, but it doesn't drive the whole business at the level I'm at anyway, and that's the experience that I've got. Don't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. All right, so number 9, this one is a goddamn superpower, and I think everybody needs to know how to do this, although it almost feels illegal to talk about, and that is knowing the 6 human needs. So after this video, please go and look up Tony Robbins' 6 human needs, and it's basically a concept that at any one time in somebody's life, they are driven by 1 or 2 of 6 basic human needs. And those human needs are certainty, uncertainty of variety, recognition, connection and love, growth, and contribution. So if you learn how to, by asking questions, find out what place and what drive or motivator is for a particular person, a particular time, these change during our lives, you'll be able to then motivate them better, connect with them better, understand them more, and that is fundamentally being a great leader. If you can do all those things, then you're doing your job, right? It is a little bit of dark magic. And I'll give you an example. If I wanted to recruit someone for a project or to get somebody onto my team, and I sold them this project and I sit down and say, look, we're going to be shooting all over the world. We're going to be different destinations. We'll be shooting different things. We're a new thing every day. We're creating, we're doing all this kind of stuff. I'm appealing to that person's maybe need for variety and uncertainty, spontaneity. That might not be where they're at the time, right? They might be in a contribution phase. So if I had said to them instead, hey, come and join this amazing team. We're going to be building something that's bigger than all of us. Or with your help, we can build something that makes a massive impact on this community or contribute to these things. That's the driver for that person. And they're going to be more present in that conversation and more ready to jump on board because that hits their human needs. So as you can imagine, I've used this in business. I've used this in my relationships. I've used this in sports and even at home as a dad, right? If you get to know this, it feels like black magic, but it is just a way to understand people better and to communicate better so that everybody's needs are met. And it is just so powerful that I highly recommend that you study it and you implement it. All right, last one, number 10, my absolute favorite thing that I've learned while being a leader in this business is it's a line. And if you know where it's from, then we can hang. But it's basically that nothing is true, everything is permitted. Basically, everything that you've learned about what a job is, what a team is, what a leader is, what anything is just stuff that's been told to you. It's just made up, right? Yes, it is the opinions of people that have done a lot more shit than I have. They might be smarter than you and I. They might have had years of experience. I have a whole bookcase of people that teach leadership and a whole bunch of other things, but it's really the opinions and experience of other people. There's no rules. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want. You can lead however the fuck you want. You can do, you can not do. You can build a culture exactly how you want to build it. Some things might work better than others, of course. Some ways of dealing with people are better than others. There might be consequences to doing stuff. But I'll tell you this, whenever I followed my gut and my intuition with things, stuff worked out. And other times, my intuition has told me something, but I've thought, no, I've got to be logical about this. I've got to do the thing that I read in that book. And it just doesn't turn out as well. And I feel bad about not following my intuition. You're a creative person, okay? You've got something in you that's connected, that speaks through you to create things, right? Bring ideas from the ethereal into reality. So trust that power. Literally create your life, create the team, create the job, create the culture, create the environment. You can do anything. Everything is temporary. Like there's almost nothing in my over a decade of experience of doing this. There's no decision that I've made that's been permanent. There's nothing I can't move or control or fuck up that badly that something else doesn't happen that either replaces it or does something, right? Everything is temporary. So just try stuff. Just do it. You don't have to do things the way that they've always been done. I remember thinking to myself, how would I want a leader to be for me? What kind of team, what place would I want to work in? You can literally ask yourself those questions and then go about designing that. I do it, like I said, as a father. What kind of father did I need when I was younger? How can I give that then to my boys? Right? There's no rules. Everything is permitted. Nothing that you've read before is true. It's just things that people have said, that people have told you. Just like this whole video is just my opinions from my experience, okay? Like I said, I've run creative production agencies for over a decade. I have led hundreds and hundreds of staff. I have paid over $10 million to creatives over the years, right? I know who gets paid, I know who doesn't. But this is your journey, right? You can literally make this whatever it is you want. Because if you have that tingling of leadership or building a team inside you, it's there for a reason. Reluctant as it may be, find out what works for you and go out and create it.